Well, good evening, everybody. It's Jeff Jelna calling from Sauk County Emergency Management here, and I'd just like to thank you all for coming on to our Maintaining Wellness During Stressful Times call this evening. We've got Brandon Green from Pulse Fitness, owner and trainer, and then also Baraboo Fire. And Brandon's been very innovative, and he's also been instrumental in training of first responders in fitness, and I think it's going to be a really good thing tonight, especially with all of the stuff that's happened today. The safer at home order has been extended, so we know we're going to be home a little bit longer. But nutrition, fitness is such an important part of life that goes on with this, even though, you know, we're going through so many different changes as we continue. We still got to try to maintain a status of health and nutrition. So with that, I would thank Brandon so much for being part of this, and I'll let Brandon talk a little bit more about his background and his wonderful presentation. So thank you, Brandon. It's all yours, sir.
Absolutely. Sauk County, hope you guys are doing well today. I am going to keep this positive and upbeat because that's the only speed I know. So get ready for some specifically to help you, presented to you by a 10-year-old child is the best way I can put it to you, because it's about what you're dealing with. So what are we talking about today? Nutrition and healthy activity. It means so many things to so many different people. We've got some resources today that we're going to give you to make sure you have access to. We'll pull them up on the screen. We'll talk about healthy nutrition. We'll talk about healthy activity. What does that look like for you, especially with, again, the extended stay at order home, what that we're going to be dealing with for the foreseeable future here. What does that mean for my health? Mental, physical, emotional, all of it. I mean, it's all going to be wound into one, because health is so much bigger than just you know, a number on a scale or not being sick. So we want to talk about health as a whole. I'll give you a lot of different viewpoints, different ideas, different ways to take it. One thing that's very hard, my personal belief, I've done this for a extended period of time. This is all I really know. This is all I'll ever do. And one thing that I believe is there is no one right way. There is no one right style of exercise or one right way of eating. We can't have a cookie cutter program. So this makes this difficult because we want to give healthy and active nutritional tips to everybody, to the population at whole. And that's kind of hard when you're not doing it on an individual basis. So anything I don't cover here, if you have an individual question, please feel free to reach out to me. They'll have my contact information, all the Pulse stuff on all the social media, that all gets to me as well. So if you have a personal question on something that I cover here today that may apply specifically to you, please just reach out to me. We'll make sure that we can give you the proper and educated information that we can. With that, we've got some handouts on here, and I'll just kind of go through them, and we'll just kind of talk briefly on them to make sure you guys have good understandings on them. I'll kill some myths that are out there in the health and wellness industry out there, that the things that one, I have to work out for 2 hours a day to stay healthy, and that's not the case. Or I need a weight room, I need a treadmill, I have to be doing this or X, Y, or Z to be healthy. There are so many different ways, and your health is in your control. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then our handouts on some office workouts that you can do if you're still part of one of those essential businesses, some at-home workouts if you're stuck at home, and then just going over some details of what your health means to you, because that's honestly, that's why I'm here today. So let's get started. So just some basic nutritional guidelines and healthy tips that you can see. Hopefully everybody can see this on here. Mayo Clinic is a great resource that we use pretty consistently, along with the USDA site, which, as you can see here, is choosemyplate.gov, for very specific information that you can get that will apply to you. That's back from a very reputable source. There's a lot of bad information out there, let's just be honest. So make sure the information that you're getting is accurate and researched from an accredited source. That's going to be part one. Nothing I'm going to tell you is going to be rocket science right now. Hopefully it just reinforces maybe some things that you're currently doing or some things that you maybe need to do a little bit better. First and foremost, pay attention to your body. It will tell you when you are hungry and thirsty. A well-nourished body will help you perform both physically and mentally. This is particularly important during times of stress. Stress is a hormone in our body. It's cortisol, and it has very, very negative effects. People ask me all the time, but isn't exercise by definition a stressor? It is. It just has a much different release, especially when there's endorphins involved with that. We'll cover that on the activity portion, but pay attention to your body. I think that's very key. Everybody knows their own body. A big thing that I've been getting a lot of questions on is, I'm tired, I'm lethargic all the time. The very first thing I ask them is, I understand you're tired. What are you doing activity-wise? I'm not doing much. Well, then it makes sense to me that you're tired. Your body is taking that homeostasis route. It's going to take the path of least resistance. So we want to make sure that we're supplying the body with the proper fuel that we need for the activity that we're asking. But paying attention to your body is huge. Now, there's a big difference. This is another thing what we can hit on right here. Appetite versus hunger. Okay, huge difference. Appetite is the neckline up. These are triggers that our brain sends to our body of a certain craving that we have. Hunger comes from the neckline down, actually being hungry for food, and then starting to try to identify the differences. Bored eating is a real concern right now. And I have some tips that I'll go over later with you that'll kind of help with that. Water, man, if there is something, every time I say water, everybody's probably picking one up at home. I know I am. Carry it around with me all day long. Drink plenty of water throughout the day on multiple reasons. Water keeps joints lubricated, helps regulate body temperature, flush out toxins, aids in digestion. The guidelines suggest for an average person weighing an average amount, 64 ounces to 150 ounces per day. Easy way to calculate that: half an ounce per ounce, or half an ounce to an ounce per pound of body weight per day. Water is based off your body weight. So smaller body mass needs less water, larger body masses need more water. Activity absolutely plays a role. I'm giving you a baseline right now. Water. Water can help suppress some of those appetite triggers that we have as well. That's huge. A lot of times the triggers that our brain is receiving as hunger is actually a thirst thing. So when people tell me they're really struggling with cravings and appetite suppressant, they really just can't curb their appetite. They're constantly hungry. Changing that water up is huge. And it's not about drinking all of it before 11 a.m. or trying to drink, a gallon before from between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. It needs to be consistent throughout the day. Half an ounce to an ounce per pound of body weight is what is going to be recommended. The old equations of 5 glasses, 8 glasses a day is based off very old science. It's based off an old body mass. Our bodies are just not the same as they were 50 years ago. So we need to go with accurate depictions. And again, half an ounce to an ounce per pound of body weight. Get a lot on this. Eat every 4 to 5 hours, or there's 3 meals a day. Well, I was told to eat 5 or 6 if I'm trying to lose weight. Is that wrong? Is that right? Eating frequently provides fuel in your tank for continuing working, especially during stressful times. Whether you eat 1,500 calories in 3 meals or you eat 1,500 calories in 7 meals, your metabolism itself is actually the same. Yes, working with very large clients, my original part of my training career, most of my clients were 500 plus pounds. It got to a point where I didn't have really anybody underneath that benchmark of it. So everybody I trained with was 500 plus pounds. Getting them to be able to really take control back over food was huge. And I'm seeing a lot of that now with people that aren't at that body weight, is losing control over food. So sometimes spreading the meals out throughout the day is just an easy trick that we like to use to help give you control back over your food. Metabolically, there's no more advantage. You don't want to eat all your calories in one meal. There's those that use intermittent fasting. There's those that do ketogenic style eating. Again, to each body and genetic type, you really have to take a look kind of deeply to really prescribe what's proper for somebody nutritionally. But this is one tip that we give to a lot of people that seems to help with gaining control back over your food. Okay, so yes, there's always going to be specifics come into play, but eating every 4 to 5 hours just really helps to create a routine and a schedule, which I will talk about later because that's crucial right now. So that's a tip that we like to give out pretty consistently. Man, this one, avoid processed foods. Unlike processed foods, whole foods provide greater levels of nutrients and vitamins, no additives, and fewer ingredients, the better. The easy, simple, stupid, because I'm not that bright, so I got to think of easy ways to keep it simple in my brain. The less hands that touch it, the better it is for you. If it's from the dirt to a processor and then straight to the grocery store, probably going to be pretty good for you. If it's from an enhancement to further enhancements to enrichments to dry freezing, to freezing, to plastic, to shipping, to dry packaging, and then off to freezing, and you can't pronounce 9 of the ingredients on the back of the quote unquote freezer meal, it's not going to be a healthy option for you long term. That I can say without a doubt. Lower calorie does not always mean healthier. And I want you guys to really understand that. Lower calorie does not always mean healthier. Caloric intake is based around activity level. And if you're trying to be more active, eating more whole foods is actually something we prescribe pretty consistently, even if you're trying to lose weight. I know that's a shock to people, but it's the way the human body is designed. We want to fuel what we're trying to do. Lean proteins at every meal. Again, a more general suggestion. You don't have to eat this way. It's just a healthier choice than maybe what people are currently doing, but try to get fresh or frozen lean unprocessed meats such as fish, shellfish, poultry, beef, low-fat dairy products, and eggs, all great examples of proteins. Lean proteins that we can have in our diet. Our main macronutrients that our body absorbs from are going to be carbs, proteins, and fats. Protein is one that's emphasized pretty well. Normally get a question on supplements at this point. Supplementation, like, hey, should I take a protein shake? Should I do this? I'm trying to be more active. Protein or supplements are supposed to be supplementing what you're not getting out of your nutrition. So finalize your nutrition, get the majority of what you're getting out of your nutrition, and then supplementation wise, it's going to kind of be on an individual basis. But we should be able to get the majority of this out of our nutrition if we're doing it properly. Vegetables, preferably fresh or frozen, eat them all day and with every meal. Man, look how colorful that beautiful plate is. We really, really want to keep those vegetables on a consistent basis. Those are from the earth, just packed full of nutrients from the sun, from the soil. There's a lot of good things that our bodies can take from that would replace, like, again, going back to supplements, your one a day and things like that. I'm not saying don't take them. I'm saying we should be getting a lot of that from our nutrition, and our body absorbs what's in this food a lot better than it does from different sources. This is the best source from a lot of those nutrients, and you'll naturally feel better. A lot of times they always say, try to keep your plate colorful. This is a beautiful example of how to do that. And it can taste really good. Hitting on this point, again, having my background with those that are dramatically overweight, and those in the emergency responder realm, food can be a drug, absolutely. So I always encourage people to find healthy food they like to eat and not to force them to eat food they don't like just because it's healthy. Does that make sense? So, I'm eating tuna because it's on this healthy grocery list. And I know I should probably have it, but I just can't stand the taste of it. And I'm gonna force myself to eat it because I know I need to because it's healthy. The benefits of that are not going to be good. You won't stick with it. You're not getting dopamine spike in our brain that we should be getting from the healthy food, and you're not going to have a positive relationship with that food. We want to talk about taking power back over our food. So we find healthy food that we know is good for us. That's where we want to focus, and then continue to create variety within that. But find what's good. We actually have a little bit more time now. I don't want to get up on my soapbox on time because say that for the end. But we have more time right now to be prepping food. Consistently, all I've ever heard in the 20 years I do, the biggest obstacle people have living a healthy lifestyle when it comes to activity and nutrition is time. I don't have the time to meal prep, and I don't have the time to cook this food and then stay active. Now, a lot of us do have a little bit of that extra time to devote towards this because some of our other social activities and other obligations have kind of ceased. We do have time to kind of make a habit of that now. Breads, pastas, and rices should be whole grains whenever possible. I always say if you can blow the dirt off it, the better it is for you. Keep your breads, rices, pastas, grains, everything brown, brown, brown. Try to stay away from heavy enriched flour, anything super white as far as those grains and carbs are concerned. Going to be a better choice. Carbs such as these whole grains are a very good source of energy. That's where a lot of our energy, and I won't go into ATP production and everything for all you super excited people on carb usage. We can talk about that at a later time, but I mean, just overall general, good clean carbs are going to help to produce energy. Healthy options are going to be potatoes, quinoa, beans, lentils, fruits and vegetables. Again, vegetables not going to play so much into that role because there's so much fiber in them, so we don't store them the same way we store other carbs, but really good option. Keep healthy snacks around you at all time. If you are hungry and you are craving or stressed, Finding some healthy snacks that you enjoy to eat that maybe aren't the worst thing in the world. Maybe they're not the greatest, and that's okay. But if you can find some healthy snacks that you enjoy to eat, keep those around you at all times, because that trigger tends to build. It tends to be progressive. So if you're struggling with a specific day or time or something like that, having those healthy snacks around you will help you to kind of beat that more times than not. Almonds, fresh fruit, low sugar protein drinks, bars, natural peanut butter, things like that are going to be quick, easy. You don't have to prepare meals, something that you can eat quick, because if you have to prepare it, you're probably just going to have something that's quicker. Oh, the big one, sugar. Don't even get me started. I'll get up on a box. Sugar, sugar, sugar. You want to keep your sugar as low as absolutely possible. We put a number on here, 10 to 15 grams of added sugar per serving. I'd like to see even lower than that if you can. I challenge you to be even lower than that. Sugar does not really have positive effects in the body outside of the dopamine spike that we get from it. Sugar is a drug. Period. The end. Sugar is a drug. So keeping it in the house is just, if I can stress that more, than just don't keep it in the house. You go out the one time and you've been doing great all week long, and you go have a Culver's ice cream or something like that the one time, and you keep it out of the house, fine. I understand people treating themselves like that, and I don't expect anything else. But having it as a consistent source within your home is going to be huge, especially for those that have kids. Man, you just want to really watch what you're feeding those kids on a consistent basis, and anything that's going to be packed with sugar is just not going to be a good choice. So sugar, 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 keep it low. Awesome. I can take questions on that. If not, I'll just keep moving right on to our activity portion. Nutritional tips. People are always asking me, hey, just quick, easy nutritional tips. Stay out of the kitchen. I mean, that's kind of common sense. Stay out of the kitchen. The more you wander in there, the more you're just going to get into that, what we call bored eating, or just craving eating, where you're looking for something. Like I said before, hunger is sometimes thirst, so keep that hydration up. If you can change nothing else, I'm not big into like big dramatic changes in people's lifestyles. I don't see them typically stick. 1% of people, yeah, absolutely, they start exercising 7 days a week and eat perfectly, and that's great. Super proud of them. I'm probably not somebody that's on this webinar right now. Those on here are probably, like myself, even there's times that I struggle. So trying to change small sustainable things, I think is what helps people stick. Those that I've assisted in losing 200 and 300 pounds, the ones that I've seen that have kept it off are the ones that made small sustainable changes, and water is huge. If you can just, over the next week, I'm going to make sure I'm drinking half an ounce to an ounce per pound of body weight of water and change nothing else, I promise a very healthy health effect on your body. Make meal prep a family event. Make cooking a family event right now. Don't make it something that you just kind of do by yourself. Make it something you're involving your kids, your significant other, even Skyping or Zooming, Messenger video, whatever, your dad. I called my dad in Florida the other day and just chatted with him while I was making a meal, and I was encouraging, hey, why don't you make a meal too? Just get creative with it, but make it a family thing. And then when supporting local restaurants, here in town, within Sauk County, just make good choices in doing that. They're more than happy to make accommodations for you. They're not going to think you're weird if you call and say, hey, I want instead of a burger and fries, can I just have the burger with everything on it on a bed of lettuce for a salad, please? They'll do that for you. These restaurants will bend over backwards to make you happy. It's part of the great thing in the area that we live in is people are very supportive of each other and those kind of things. So if nothing further with that, I'll kind of go over to our exercise portion. Again, if you have nutritional questions, we can kind of circle back as well. And this is kind of small, I apologize, but we'll make sure you guys can all see it. So office workout first. So those that are still working, how often should I be active? Well, you have some time within your control, some free time, and your mind is probably spending, because if you're one of these essential workers, you're working your butt off right now. Stress is a real enemy. Time, I mean, you're having time when you get home, but at work, your time is probably maximized and making sure your job is getting done. But challenge you, if you're not taking care of yourself, are you truly performing that job to the best of your capabilities? That's a question. I know I force myself to make sure that I'm I'm doing my my job to the best that I can, and I know that means taking care of myself in my emergency responder realm, and then training emergency responders all around the country. That's something I ask them consistently: is if you're taking your nutrition and your activity level and your training level seriously, are you truly giving the best you can for yourself in that job? So what does that mean? Well, just staying active. This is an office workout that we've kind of worked up. Pretty simple. We structure a lot of our office at-home workouts and structure with our training clients to stuff that we're programming people all over with. Pretty similar, which is going to be some form of a dynamic warm-up, some movement-based activity that's going to engage your central nervous system, get your heart rate up, get your blood flowing, get some things going, and get those muscles to activate. And then a cool down, which is going to work more on flexibility, range of motion, and bringing that back down to a normal level. So that's how we structure a lot. You don't want to just hop into the workout or any kind of movement base like that. It's like getting up from your chair and sprinting as hard as you can. That's not going to have positive effects. So what we do, and I'll try my best to demonstrate this so that you guys can see it. Office workout, first thing we're going to do. So I'm at my office. I'm here now. Only one here. Been one here for a long time. And it's sad. It's horrible. Miss my people. Love you guys. Just when you're at the office, we're going to start. You can just stand up. Stand up from your desk and just take your knees and hug them up to your chest. Just that simple. You're just going to make sure you're straight. Posture is a very big thing in our line of work. Posture dictates strength due to leverage. So we want to make sure that we're staying very postured. We don't want to be hunched over or arched back. It's too much pressure on the lower back where a lot of us have issues. And if we're sitting all day long, our glutes are having troubles activating anyways. So knee hugs, just going to go like that. Butt kicks. A big part of butt kicks is people think they need to jump to do a butt kick. All you're doing is really just trying to raise your heel towards your glute. So you're coming actually up underneath your leg versus trying to swing it back. We just want you to come up. And again, I can do this right here without moving from my office. And then arm circles, you're just going to, again, make sure that posture is really good. And we're just going to arm circle those forward and back. Okay. Then we're going to get into the strength portion. So you can repeat that. We're going to do 10 of each and 20 seconds of each of your arm circles. You can do singles. You can modify this any way that you want, whatever's best for you. The strength portion we're going to start with is going to be a 5 count. So you're going to do pulse squats for 5. So a pulse squat is you're going to go down low and just not come up. So you see I got a chair behind me, or you can use your chair that's in your office, and you're just going to squat down and count to 5. Come up, go back down, squat down, count to 5. Come up, and you're going to do that 5 times. Then we're going to do our standard squat. So 5 times, just coming all the way down and all the way up. Don't go so low that your hips are actually pivoting. We want to make sure our spine's staying straight when you do that. Single leg deadlift. So what we can do is just more of an RDL, is just kind of reaching down towards the front of that toe and getting that inside of your leg to work. We just want to get that hamstring to fire. If those glutes are typically in the chair all day long, that lower back is going to take the brunt of the pain. So reaching down again on both sides. And then just single arm lat raises. So what we can do is you can do this in multiple different ways. Just tuck that arm. What you really want to do is squeeze that body and just raise that shoulder up, okay, on either side. Or you can do both at the same time. For your cool down, you're going to do a seated knee hug stretch. So just sitting at your desk, that same thing that we did for a warm up, but now instead of just pulling and continuing to move, we're actually going to hold it. And you're going to go to the other side and hold. And if you want to skip the warm up and the exercise portion because you just don't have time today and you only have 5 minutes, I recommend you do the stretching. If nothing else, I promise it'll have the biggest impact and the less detriment if you can just do the stretching. Wide stance toe touches, so you're just going to get nice and wide and reach down for those toes back and forth. Crossbody reaches, you can either do it from a chair and just kind of reach down if you're reaching your left arm down to your right toe. Sit up nice and straight, get that posture again. Right arm down to the left toe, back and forth. And then you can just kind of stretch those lats and shoulders. I don't have that one on here, but one of the favorites at the office is just kind of dropping that neck in between your shoulders and pulling on those lats. So again, if you don't have any time, I've got 5 minutes in my office, or I have my lunch break, I'm stressed to the max, I should go in and do the warm up or the workout or the stretch. Do the cool down, do the stretching. If you're going to give me 5 minutes, that's probably what I'm going to prescribe to you, is some form of stretching. We also did a office just stretch. I can get that to pull up. So very similar. Some things that I didn't cover, like the seated child's pose, is going to be similar to that that hanging lat stretch that I showed you. You're just going to put your hands on your desk, take your chin in between your arms, and just sit those hips out in your chair. If you can get down on your office floor, great. I mean, sometimes we got to kind of get creative. A T-spine stretch, or what we like to do in the physical therapy world is, or chiropractic world, we'll do what we call IWTs. So we're going to pinch those shoulders back, and you're going to raise your arms and stretch and hold a perfectly neutral spine. So my head is not tilted or cocked anyway. It's neutral with the rest of my spine. And just make a big I. Then you're going to come down and make a big W. And then you'll drive those arms out and do a big T. Okay, and repeating that 2 or 3 times through. But you should actually feel those muscles fire. You want to feel, when you're doing these stretches, you want to feel them engage. Stretching shouldn't hurt. Very, very key here. So like these side neck stretches, like if you just want to pull, and you can pull if you want on one side or the other, you can apply a little pressure to your head. You really don't need it because stretching shouldn't hurt. So just lengthening that neck on each side and controlling your breathing through these movements is something that I promise you all of you can do. You can find the 3 minutes to do that and just to relax that neck. A lot of our tension gets built up in here. Those that get massages or go to the chiropractors are probably, especially if you're at a desk all day long, are being told that a lot of those upper cervical spines can have some issues. Our middle spine's thoracic. It's made to move. Our lower lumbar and our cervical are kind of rigid and they just move in one direction. And that's typically where our tension tends to build up. So anything that we can do to target those areas of stretching is going to be very, very beneficial. But stretching shouldn't hurt. So don't stretch so far that you feel a giant burn. That's not a progressive stretch. You should feel tension. And then as you stretch, you should feel that tension slightly start to decrease as you hold that stretch, but it shouldn't hurt. Everybody's flexibility is totally different. Again, injuries, and look, I have a bad shoulder, I got a bad knee, what can I do? There's just so much to cover. The human body is the most amazing thing in the world, but it's so adaptable and no two bodies are ever built alike. So we can't really just say, okay, this is how everybody should stretch, but these are some general things that should work for most people. If you have an issue, if something hurts, stop immediately. Email me and let me know it hurt. I can give you a different one. But nothing, including exercise, it shouldn't hurt, right? You should be working. Your lungs may hurt. You may get tired. Your brain may hurt saying, man, I don't want to do this anymore. But even during exercise, you shouldn't feel intense pain in any joints, ligaments, tendons especially. And then breathing to de-stress and recenter. Tennille O'Leary, our director of operations, is our yoga instructor here, and she does a phenomenal job of work with the Baraboo School District. I have her. She teaches tactical yoga for our emergency responders, and she just does a phenomenal job of teaching that. And breathe control is something she works on very consistently with everybody. Just something so simple. I'll show you how simple this is. You're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 7, and you're going to exhale for 8. Now do this with me right now. If you're not doing it, I'm going to be able to tell. So let's just do it, because I'll make everybody do it again and again. So let's just do it, okay? All right, inhale for 4, 3, 4, and hold for 7. Now breathe out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Natural relaxation after 1 set of breathing exercises. We I think sometimes downplay how important breathing can be to our overall health. So again, time is the enemy, Brandon. I do not have time to work out every day. My job is super critical, and I'd be lucky if I get 10 minutes a day. Okay, take those 10 minutes and dedicate it to this. Do some basic stretching and some breathing exercise, and not only will you perform better, but you're going to feel better, and you're going to be able to handle more. Because that's all it's about. It's keeping you in the game. Something I talk to about at my emergency responders consistently is I'm not trying to tell them what they're doing is wrong if we're changing a training program or adding a specific strength thing or trying to improve their conditioning level. I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing is wrong. I'm keeping you in the game longer so that you can continue to do the job that you love. If you're somewhere right now working extremely hard, you're needed. That is huge. I thank you myself. So whatever I can give you that helps you to do that and to do it at a high capability, and also not maybe take some of that stress and pain home from the hard work that you're putting in, whether that be physical or mental, that's going to be huge. And these will help both physical and mental. Breathing is huge, huge, huge for our brain. Okay. Activity at home. A lot of questions that I get is like, I guess the biggest thing I get, I can't stay motivated at home. I cannot stay motivated at home. Biggest issue I've heard from people, training clients, trainers, myself, family, you name it. And that's huge. So one of the big things you have to really ask yourself is why am I exercising? And we'll get into that in a minute. But motivation at home can sometimes come down to discipline and just setting yourself, getting creative and how you're setting yourself up for success in that realm. So what can I do? Okay, I'm binge watching Netflix right now. I've watched Ozarks and Lion King or Tiger King, whatever crazy guy's name is. I've watched all these things. I've watched them all the way through 8 shows. Just imagine if you would have taken each, every 10 minutes, if they're a 50-minute show, every 10 minutes, and you did 10 jumping jacks every 10 minutes, and then maybe 10 push-ups from your knees, or 10 squats, or 10 knee hugs, or you stretched for 2 minutes during each of those series, and you held yourself accountable to that timer, how much better do you think you'd feel? So now you can actually put a positive spin on some things that people are telling me are very negative. I can't get off the couch. All I do is watch TV. It's like I'm sad, I'm depressed, and I absolutely get it, guys. I get it. But how can we turn that into something that we're using? And that, if we have a timer on there, well, it's a 50-minute show. Okay, well, that's 5 cents if I do every 10 minutes, and then at the end. So make TV time active time. Whatever it is, every 10 minutes, just do, an air squat, if that's what your capability is, or do 30 jumping jacks, or do 20 burpees every 5 minutes. And then, you're going to continually progress on that. And if you have TV cable at home, commercials are a great timer. Every time a commercial comes on, I'm just going to stand up. I'm going to walk in place. When the commercial's off, I'm going to sit back down. I'm going to do my laundry at home while watching TV, and I'm going to do the whole thing standing. Okay. No sitting down during commercials, jumping jacks during it, laundry standing up, and then some pretty common sense stuff. Yard work, kid time, downtime, chores, all are going to increase your heart rate. All are going to have a caloric effect. Now, if you're getting into dramatic weight loss, yeah, we need a little bit more specific what we do. I want to feel better. I want to stay active. I don't want to hurt. That is an easy way to just turn some home activities that we're kind of confined to right now into timers and the stuff that's going to actually benefit us. Okay. From the office, suggestions I've always given to people. If you're taking water, a lot of people take water to work. Fill your water up, take a smaller thing, fill your water up at the farthest water fountain every time you need more water. Use the restroom, farthest restroom. If you work on the first floor of a 3-story building, use the 3rd-story bathroom every time you need to use the restroom and take the stairs. Small changes like that. When I equate that to weight loss, to an average individual weighing around 200 or 300 pounds, if they were to do that, we could look at around 10 pounds a year lost just from that one small change. A 1st floor to 3rd floor bathroom, if they work 5 days a week, 8-hour days, the common normal stuff, 10 pounds of weight loss right there. So it does have a major caloric effect, maybe more than we think. Park the farthest away. So why a joke, it's not a joke, it's a stat, but it's one of the funniest things. People leave gyms because of parking. They get very upset if they can't park right next to the door, and it has always blown my mind everywhere. I've been in gyms all over the country, and I've worked, owned, and managed gyms all up the East Coast. I tell you right now, it doesn't matter where you are. If they cannot park close to that door, that person is angry, and they will leave gyms over bad parking. It's crazy to me. But here's an opportunity where at work, you drive to work, park the farthest stall that you can. Do that on a consistent basis. It's not going to make an impact in one day. If you're doing it every single day, except in those nasty winters, where now a health risk, if you park farthest away, you're adding just a little bit of activity every single day is what's going to make those small sustainable changes. Again, that's what's going to make the key. Every time you make a conference call, stand up. So if you got a conference call, webinar, whatever it is, every time you got to be on one, because a lot of you guys at work, policies are changing consistently. Every time you've got one of those, do it standing. That small change right there can make a big deal. Okay. So those are your at-home activity tips, some work tips, nutrition tips. I hope those are helped. One thing I just want to go over some data that's out there that's sometimes misinterpreted and people maybe get the wrong idea. So what is recommended for the average, when we say average, 25 to 55 years old of normal health standards, is 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous activity each week. Vigorous is anything over 150 beats per minute of your heart rate. That's pretty high. So 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous. Where does that data come from? American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society. A lot of those major health organizations have adopted that as easy, accurate, healthy information that we can use to stay healthy and ward off one disease, but also some of the things that we're dealing with now. Another big thing, mental health right now. I know the county's done a great job about getting resources out there. Something I take very, very seriously. As I've dealt with it my entire career with clients, myself included. Guys, I've been there. I've been to a deep, dark place in my life, and it took a lot to find myself out. So not only do I understand it, but I've been there with you on that. Okay, that is a very serious deal, and exercise to me is medicine. I truly believe. I cannot push that enough, and I cannot argue that point enough. That exercise is medicine. Exercise does not have to be in a weight room bench pressing. Okay, activity is going to make you feel better. There are chemical reactions going on in our body. We call them the EDSO drops, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, that we get from exercise. And I will guarantee 100% down, you will feel better if you are consistently moving. That is a 100% true statement. I challenge every single one of you to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So go through it for 30 days. I am going to do 30 minutes a day of activity, and then you come back to me and say that you haven't felt better. Sorry about that. 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day of something. That could include your stretching, that could include everything incorporated, or you're getting those 75 minutes of vigorous, which is like every other day. But I will promise you, the natural reaction from exercise in our body is you will feel better. You will, 100%. I cannot stress that point enough. So work out 30 minutes a day, and invest too much into your health that you're not willing to quit. People talk about motivation around health and fitness all the time, and one of the big things that I push to people is invest so much in it that you literally can't quit. I have given too much of my time, too much of my resources, too much of my energy putting into me being healthy, that there is no way I'm giving up on me living my best life. Healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it. Okay. Our mission statement here at Pulse has always been the same since the day we've opened their doors, and it's helping people create the best version of themselves. So that is on you. Our job is a support system. I'm a trainer at heart. Okay. I'm an emergency responder. I'm a fireman. I love supporting people. I love helping people, but I can't do the work for you. But if you invest so much time, effort, energy, money, all of it, if you just invest in your time and you being healthy, you will invest so much that you literally can't quit on it. There's no way I know how to turn around. This is the only life I know now, and I don't want to lose what I've gained because I feel so good about myself. I feel better. I eat well. It just becomes part of your life. And what that'll really help get away from is the fear that we're dealing with right now. Exercise gives you a different focus, and fear is powered by focus. Right now, where a lot of our focus is centralized on this, but the information is not really changing. It's just we're focused on it so much, we're just getting all the information and then everybody's opinion of that information. So if you can shift that focus to your own health, imagine what you'll come out on the other side of this like. So I know it's a tough day today. I mean, they just extended that order, and I get that. And that can be a scary thing for a lot of people. One, I will promise you I'm here with you through it. I'll get you what you need to make sure you're staying healthy. I'll talk about the free content we put out every single day. But if you can shift your focus to yourself, why is it that crazy to think that you couldn't come out of this better than you went into it? That people might call me crazy for that. I don't. I think it's a reality for people that really want to truly challenge themselves and say, okay, I need to take this time right now because I actually have time now that I've never had before to make myself a healthier individual. And now ask yourself, why would you do that? Because if you don't understand why you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, you won't stick with it, period, the end. So why be healthier? I don't want you to tell me because it's a number on a scale or anything else along those lines. I want to know, okay, so if somebody comes to me with a weight loss goal, I say, okay, so you're 30 pounds lighter. All right, so it's, 4 months from now, you're 30 pounds lighter. Tell me about your work life. Tell me about your social life. Tell me about your relationships at home. How does that make you a better mother, father, husband, sister, brother, worker? What does that do for you outside the number on the scale? Because that is what it will intrinsically motivate you, and then you won't need all the hyped up speakers and motivational presentations that are out there to try to inspire you, because you're inspired by yourself. So you really need to understand why. Why live healthier? I can't answer that question for anybody. It's an individual practice for everybody, but why be healthier? What is it really going to do for you outside of the body? Because this is just, this is just a vessel along the journey too. What does that healthy life look for you? What will it do for you at work? What will it do for you in your relationships? What will it do for you in your own mental mind state? How do you see yourself? I'm tired of people being so slammed about how others see that, like none of it really matters. Their opinion of you doesn't matter. It's how do you see yourself? And that's where your health comes into play. And that's where you start aligning the physical and the mental part of this. Okay, so I want to see you really take your health as a priority, because now we have this time. Whether you're working or not, I guarantee you have more time than you had 2 months ago. So I'm going to challenge you to take that time and invest in what literally the most important thing in this life is, which is you. You're investing in yourself. During the last big bubble bust we had in the economy, where it was super low, Warren Buffett was asked, what's the number one investment thing people should look for? And they said, anything that invests in yourself. That's what he said. Anything that invests in yourself, and your health is such a major part of that. And you're only going to get one shot at this. And that's why we just push preventative healthcare. Things that are going to keep you out of the doctor's office, things that are going to keep you away from the hospital tables and off medications, things that unneeded medications, things that are going to keep you healthy longer. Okay, but that's an individual battle.
Brandon, it's Jeff.
Yes, Jeff, go ahead.
I think Jody's got a couple questions here for you on the chat.
Let's hit them.
Okay, the first one, Brandon, is do you have suggestions for parents with kids of various ages to be active together?
Really good question. I have 2 children of my own of various ages. My little monster is 6 and my daughter is 9. And keeping them engaged, before we came down here, we played a game of pig. It's keeping it pretty simple, just playing some basketball. What I like to do is having things that engage everybody at their own physical level. With kids of multiple ages, what you can kind of do is get a little strategic with the games. It doesn't always have to be a win or lose type thing. We just posted a shoots and ladders game where you can take a simple board game and turn it into exercises that, okay, well, every time, like a Monopoly, every time I get $500, you got to give me 5 push-ups. Or with your older kid, you're telling them to do, 25 jump squats. Or something along those lines. Basic walking activity is great too. If you have a smaller child that maybe can't keep up with the older one, having the older one, run up ahead of you. Bike rides are another thing that I love doing consistently, because everybody can kind of work at their own level. But gameplay seems to be the biggest thing. Kids love to play, and I wish more adults moved like that too, because we wouldn't have the health concerns that we did. So anything that's going to enhance gameplay is typically going to give you your best bang for your buck. If they see it as exercise, you're going to decrease that. I mean, that's a structure of a lot of gym classes as well. Anything that's going to encourage that gameplay. Sometimes you have to be a little creative depending on the kid.
Okay, great. The next question is, I'm used to shopping 2 to 3 times a week for fresh produce, but with COVID, I'm trying to limit my trips to once a week or less. Do you have suggestions for healthy meal prep? Should I be going more frozen or canned goods?
You can, that's an individual battle and the risks that we take. I know there's a lot of online options for produce being shipped. Some of it can be a little bit more expensive. If cost is an issue, buying fresh produce, I mean, most of it'll last a week. You can, on produce, you can kind of cut around some of the things. Like people see, a partial rotten strawberry and think they need to throw the whole thing out. Cut away the part that's not good. That produce is not going to hurt you unless it's completely compromised. Refrigeration, obviously, on your produce can be an issue. I once a week on fresh fruits and vegetables up here tend to, towards the end of that week, kind of start to go. If you can cook them into meals, you sometimes can get, especially on vegetables, get a little bit longer out of them. Fruits are fruits. I mean, refrigerating them and trying to keep them good as long as you can. Yeah, that's tough. But I mean, I feel like once a week's enough. That's what I try to do. And yeah, some can get close to going bad. I try to watch it and cook the things that go bad first, and then some of those things, especially like apples and grapes and stuff like that, I keep that stuff around that lasts a little bit longer throughout the week.
Okay, and those were the only 2 questions I had. I'll let you kind of wrap it up then, Brandon, and we thank everybody for joining us.
Yeah, so, and the big thing, so if you go onto our Baraboo Pulse Facebook page, Instagram, one thing that we've committed to since this is happening is 100% free content for our community and beyond. So every single day you are getting fresh content. Just go on that Facebook page. There's honestly, there's unlimited amount of stuff out there that you can find on the internet. This is right here by somebody you can ask a question to if that helps. Monday is a movement Monday, some type of new workout or movement idea that you can do. Tuesday is Tasty Tuesdays or recipes. Wednesday is Workout Wednesday, which is a full workout that you can play the video on. It's got video demonstrations. Thursday is Thrive Thursday, which is going to be, again, something nutritional again. Friday is Flexible Friday, where we're normally doing a live stream yoga class, again, 100% free. Saturday is typically boot camp. I will teach the majority of those 9 a.m. live stream, but then we also post them. All those at home without requiring large amounts of equipment. Sunday is Family Fun Day, so we post exercises. I think it was Jessica asking that. We post kid stuff that you can do with them consistently with video demonstrations and different games that we've tried that seem to work. Our goal is just to shove content out so that people can have fresh content every single day. And we're getting ready to make another post today that's just going to let everybody know in this community and beyond. We're committed to continuing to push that free content as long as the stay-at-home order is there. And it's going to be free. It doesn't matter if you're a gym here. I got people all over watching that, not just in the Baraboo area. So that is free content that we will continue to push out to you guys every single day. And feel free to reach out to us on any of the social media platforms too if you have a personal question too. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. The county's been doing awesome. Pulse is always very proud to be a part of this county and this city. And we'll continue to support you guys in every way you need. If you need anything from us, please reach out to us directly and we'll get you any information you need. Jeff, I appreciate everything you're doing. Jody, everybody that helped me on the webinar today, but Sauk County as a whole, I applaud you guys. I really do. I appreciate the information you're getting out, and I appreciate the care that you're putting towards this county, and this organization here at Pulse stands proudly behind you. So Sauk County, I do appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much, Brandon. And just a reminder, I typed it in the chat, but we will have this entire webinar tonight posted on our website tomorrow at co.sauc.wi.us. And it'll be under the COVID link along with the handouts that Brandon has available tonight too. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and stay well.
Stay positive, guys. Stay positive. Have a great evening.
Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.